Hi guys, ML here. No headphones today. Wonderful, right? Okay, so I got a new microphone. Um, okay, so we have a little bit to discuss today. Australian bushfire. The anthology is now on pre-order through booksfirstchapter.com. Let me write that down real quick so you guys have it, because I am so excited about this book, this anthology. I love helping people, helping animals, just helping in general. It's such a good feeling to do. Oh, I don't want to end. No. Cancel this. Okay, here's the website again. And there's so many terrific authors in this anthology. There's a couple short stories. There's a ton of poems. There's a few pictures, a few digital artworks. It's wonderful. It's one of a kind. And this is our second anthology for charity through Dove and Dragon Publishing, or ruscsakfilms Publishing. So we have the first one, which is our recurring anthology series that comes out every November, which is our military anthology. November 1st will always be our drop date on the military anthologies. That one for this past year is called Grunts in the Mist. You can get that at Amazon, IJP. But this one is such... I have a lot of friends in Australia. We have my former publisher that is still a great friend. She's in Australia. There's tons of authors in Australia and some other business professionals that I'm acquainted with. So doing something to help them is just, it needed to be done, but I didn't know where to begin. Luckily, I had a radio interview with the founder of booksfirstchapter.com, and she had this wonderful idea, but she didn't know how to implement it. So we have um, the Australian brushfire. Sorry, I have a hard time talking, and anyone that doesn't know me personally, it's amazing I talk at all, given my medical background. So if you would have seen me in 2011, you wouldn't understand a word I say. So I'm sorry for any speech impediment or missing words that may come up in any podcast. In the meantime, sorry, I'm getting texts from the wonderful boyfriend. And that does take priority, because he's the reason for this great smile on my face. Okay, anyways, Brushfire Anthology, Rising from the Ashes, is now on pre-order. The link is in the comments. It's also going to be available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, ebook, through Kobo, Apple, iTunes. There's like 13 places that you're going to be able to get this book. All proceeds are going to the WWF.AU Wildlife Fund in Australia to help the animals that it's going to take more than a month. It's going to take a year or two, seriously, for the ecosystem to get back to sustainable for the animals and the environment. That's just statistics. So every quarter they're going to get a check from us through book sales. Buy as many books as you can, seriously, because it's an awesome cause. I don't like seeing anyone suffer, and I hate seeing animals suffer. So there's a bunch of great, terrific authors in there. Actually, I'm going to post real quick the list of authors that are included. Now, there we go. And if anyone wants to tag those, please feel free. What else is going on with Dove and Dragon right now? We have the Domestic Violence Anthology. which is coming out April 1st. We have a few authors in that one. It's not as big, but it's also for a good cause. We have it in our mission statement. All anthologies will be only for charity. I'm not doing any anthologies in the house for anything other than charity. We're too busy as authors to put out books every month or two when we have our other work to do. So doing about 4 anthologies a year. All of them will go to charity. All of them are under year contract. If any authors want to jump on or talk to me to see what anthologies I have going on at the time. Our military anthologies are in-house only for the most part. On a rare occasion, I may take an author or two, but those ones are really just in-house. Everything else is open call, guys. I have anthologies for you. If you want them, they're here. Our next big one is for June 1st, which is for Save the Children. My lovely boyfriend got me involved in that charity. It's one of them he sponsors. I'm trying to say what I can, but it's one of them he's passionate about, and he said, hey, I want help. Can you help? So we have over 120 authors working on this anthology. So we're doing 5 authors per book. It's going to be a box set or sold individually. Each one will have its own cover. This is going to take a lot of time on my part to organize each of the stories, poems, and whatnot for that one. So let's switch from anthologies to books. What do I have coming out as an author? Okay, we have Obsidian Chronicles. It is in first line of edit. Silent Wars is in second round of edit. My cookbook, which I've been toying with for about 2 years now, is finally in final round of edits. That one is Cooking with the Stars and Stripes. It's dietary variations to everyday meals. There's a little bit of everything in there. I'm working on a poetry book, which is poems from when I was 18, guys. These are not new poems. These are old. These are rarely seen. These are the misspent youth and where my mind was when I was 18, 16, 17, 18 years old. So these are not poems that I work on now. The poems that I'm working on now will be debuted in our anthologies. And you can thank my boyfriend for that one, because he's given me such inspiration to write all these wonderful things. Tina Marine and I are working on a couple books together, co-authoring. We don't have titles yet, but one is a ballerina crime mystery, and one is, I'm not even sure what the other one is. Oh, we have a Christmas story that we're doing together. Anyone that knows me as an author knows I'm a fantasy author, so I'm really stepping outside of my realm to do half of these books, but they're turning out awesome. I'm not going to go into the film productions because I have trips coming up. The dates keep getting moved on me, and it's annoying as all get out because I'm supposed to be in 3 different states and the dates move. So I'm hoping at least one of them stays the same for next Friday. Actually, I know that one is. I just don't know if I'm actually going to be able to attend. And that's not a film thing. That is a art festival that I was invited to by one of the people that are being debuted in the gala. I have no idea how lucky I am to be in that. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit more. We have Dove and Dragon Radio. We know that I do a podcast. These are spontaneous. These are not scheduled for a set time every day. These are based on author availability. I'm bored. It's Friday. I'm bored. Boyfriend's working. And I'm caught up on paperwork. So my options are write, which I should do, or offer a $20 podcast for the next 5 authors. These go on YouTube, on all over Facebook. These go on LinkedIn to several of my industry professionals, which include agents and publishers. They actually look at this stuff on LinkedIn. And then on my Twitter. So there's a little bit going on there that's behind the scenes. So I'm only doing this for 5 authors. Normally I charge $55 for this because you're getting noticed by industry professionals via my LinkedIn network. There's the value. This isn't for marketing for readers. This is more marketing for the publishers that you want to talk to. In the meantime, I lowered to $35. That's basic, just what it costs to operate. I'm not making money, seriously. So I'm lowering it to $20. I'm losing $15 every time I do a podcast for the next 5 authors. So there is that. On the flip side, I also host a podcast for authors. I love my authors. What can I say? That one is for Atlanta Mix 108. That is a syndicated radio station and podcast. That one has national and international coverage. That one is done spontaneously. I can get you in touch with the producer who books that, and they just tell me when it is. That's usually in the evenings between 8 and 10. I try to keep it not after 10 o'clock because I'm a mom. I get up at 6 a.m. I can't function very well and be mom and be podcast host at 12 o'clock at night. So we're switching that one to a between 8 and 10 live interview. Mine can be live. The next 5 are recorded only, just to cut down overhead for me a little bit. Like I said, I'm losing money when I do a $20 podcast. What else is going on? There's so many things going on right now. Let's see if I can pull up Obsidian and I'll read the first chapter for you. Give you a sneak peek. If my computer will let me. I can't say it will, I can't say it won't. But this one is not in print yet. As I said, this one is still, and it did let me pull it up. Okay, now for you that have read The Fallen, this takes place in 3 book-wise. This takes place in 3 different sections of 4 different books. You guys are gonna so love me because we're taking The Fallen. We're going before The Fallen, during The Fallen, after The Fallen, during the first short story in Silent or Secrets, Lies, and Betrayals, and there's another book that ties into this. Welcome to the crazy mind of author M.L.Ruscsak. This is awesome, by the way. And I have to thank Tina Marine for helping me get this first part wrote because I had no directions on how to get this wrote, and it was being wrote for another reason, which is, you guys are gonna love me. The film versions are not okay. The film versions of the franchise will follow the books, but not necessarily in order. and it's going to get very confusing. And welcome to my mind as a film producer. So it's going to get really confusing, but the storyline is awesome. So here is the first chapter, and I hope you enjoy. With her face to the void, Starless tried to smile, her beloved beside her. Could the day be any more beautiful? He paused briefly, causing her to turn to him. Something was amiss, and she could feel it, yet she didn't understand what she was feeling. Shrugging off the slight tinge between her shoulders, she laughed and took a seat on the cool grass. The cool springs were just behind them. Twin-tailed fish jumping from the rainbow waters. The castle of Luna Nesta off in the distance. Very few knew of this pond, this meadow laid here. And those who did, well, they were no fools. This was a private area for the royal family. It was so fortunate that she was a crown princess and betrothed with the crown prince of Obsidian. What troubles you, my sweet? Zale's voice washed over her like a honey nectar they had been drinking. He was troubled, but that didn't matter, nor did the fact that he hid himself away, posing as a royal guard. One day we won't have to hide our secret. He kissed her neck, his hands curved around her bare belly. What secret? Your sister knows your whereabouts the moment your eyes open. I suspect if you asked, she could tell you about our wedding, right down to how many glasses of nectar we both consumed before I steal you away for a more intimate evening. She swatted playfully, his arm playfully. If I asked her anything, it wouldn't be of our wedding, but how to free this star and yours from Azia. He leaned in, tenderly sweeps a rogue tendril of golden hair from her face, tucking it behind her ear. His large hand goes to her jawline and tilts her mouth up for a chaste kiss, then smiles lovingly at her before passing her a glass with honey nectar in it. He takes one for himself and leans back on his elbows, where he sips it. Draining a glass, he leans forward once again. His lips hovered above her ear and softly said, "The answer lies in the vault of Obsidian, a blade that only the king may wield. Zale is a legendary weapon forged from before the plague of the Silent Ones." Slowly he got to his feet. His hands reached out to help her to hers. "Ask your sister who will wield it, who will be the next king of Obsidian." Solar shook her head. "You're the crown prince." "I may be the crown prince, but the sword chooses its master." He glanced at the palace, fear in his eyes. "My father may use the sword in battle, but he does not wield it. For him it is just a blade." There you go. That's the end of the first chapter, or the prologue, rather. But that's everything that's going on. So I'm happy everyone was here, and I'll talk to everyone later. And please, please, please pick up your copy of the Australian Bushfire Anthology. Honestly, this is not something I normally do, but I have friends there, and several friends asked for help. So this is for them. Thank you all, and talk to you later. Bye.